Welcome to the TeleDynes YouTube channel. Today we're going to go over how to play Built for Speed by the Stray Cats. First released in 1982 on a compilation album of the same name. The Stray Cats were of course one of the main bands in the 1980s, responsible for the revival of rockabilly music in the mainstream. It starts off with a drum pickup, then 4 bars of rhythm guitar playing an E chord. Then the main riff 4 times into the verse structure. Now this riff is played over a 1-4-5 chord progression, E, A, B7, and picked with the fingers, your middle finger and your ring finger. So you have these partial chords, the E and the A, the 1 and the 4, and when you slide up to the G position, it's actually a partial E7. Then back down to the A and the E, up and back down. Remember to hammer on the second time when you're coming back down from the open G to the G sharp. Then we move up to the 4 chord on the 5th fret and play the same pattern. And back down. Don't forget that hammer on coming back down. Then after the 4 chord, we go back to the E and play the same riff again twice or for 4 bars. Then up to the 5, the B7, again the same pattern. And you'll only play the riff on the 5 once before going back down the progression. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that by listening to the tune, there are multiple guitars playing on the recording at the same time. So unless you have multiple guitars in the band, you kind of have to pick and choose what to play. So on the turnaround, we're still on the E before we go back onto the verse. And there's this little riff right here that's played twice. The first one goes like this. And the second one like this. You want to pick that with the fingers. You're playing over this E minor shape here, picking the first string, the B note on the 7th fret, then G note on the 8th fret, 2nd string, to the E 9th fret, 3rd string. The second time you just throw in that C sharp on the 9th fret, bouncing between the 1st and 2nd strings. Now this riff happens 2 more times in the song, and the other times it happens is slightly different for the first part. Instead of this, it's this. Again, bouncing back and forth between the top strings. And the second is the same. Just slight little variations throughout the tune. Now, like I said, another guitar is still playing that main riff in the background. Now, you can't play both at the same time. So what I like to do is play the end of that main riff in between. I'll start on the turnaround to show you what I mean. Now, into the bridge. Now those chords are E, A, F sharp, E, B7, back to E. 1, 4, 2, 1, 5, 1. The bridge happens twice and he's finger picking over the chords. And the second time, of course, is a little different. So I've included the version I've played here in the tablature, which I put a link to in the description box below. I'd say do your own thing here. Throw in the parts you like, change it around, whatever works best for you. The second time is a little simpler, actually, just kind of picking on the E chord here before you go to the 4. And the A is just this, instead of this. And the most noticeable difference between the first and second bridge is the first time he plays over an F sharp 6, and the second time he plays over an F sharp 9. So instead of this, it's this. And those little differences are nice because it kind of breaks up the monotony of repeating sections. So that's pretty much it for the structure of the song. So just one more thing, the solo. Okay, let's break that down a little bit. So the solo is over a 1-4-5 chord progression, so a verse form. And the first part between the 1 and the 4 act as a kind of call and response type of thing. And it starts by sliding up to the 12th fret using a 6-9 chord shape, tremolo picking all the way up. Then do this chromatic thing down to the D sharp and slide down to the low E string. Walk up to the G to the open E. Then slide up to the E6-9 again, 12th fret. Back down to the low E. Don't forget to bend that G a little bit. Then slide back up to the E6-9, and this time the Bigsby comes into play. Back down to the low E. Then slide back up to the E6-9, tremolo picking all the way back down and back up to an A9 shape. To the low A. Back up to the 12th fret for a final Bigsby waver. To the low E again. Then you're playing this E7 shape between the 5th and 7th fret, picking the 2nd and 3rd string down to the 3rd and 4th string. So you're just moving your fingers down. Then on the 9th fret, you pull off the C sharp to an open E, down to a D. Then the top string, 1st string, open, and then open 2nd string. Now we go up to the 12th fret again and do this little descending line thing. You want to try to make sure that's ringing as much as possible. Continue with these double stops chromatically. And then down the pentatonic scale, swinging the 8th notes. Back up. Hitting that double stop on the 2nd and 3rd string, the B note and G note. Picking with your fingers on the 2nd and 3rd string, you're sliding up from an E flat to an E, from a B flat to a B. You slide the whole thing. And the final part is a walking bass line. One more time. And one more little thing. At the very end, there's a new riff that comes in at the outro. And it's basically the main riff played an octave higher with a slightly different rhythm. Then the song fades out, so if you want to play it live, you'll have to come up with your own ending. Well, that covers Built for Speed by the Stray Cats. And as always, I put a link to the tablature in the description box below. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video around, leave a comment in the comment section below. That kind of stuff really helps out in the algorithm. And you can click that notification bell to let you know when new videos drop. You can also help support the channel and the band on Patreon. All the donations go to fund content for the channel and studio recording for the band. You'll receive exclusive merch, t-shirts, mugs, stickers, tote bags, all that kind of stuff. I put all the details down in the description box below. So thank you guys again, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.